Everyone says EVs are the future, but let's talk about some EV-specific pain points that no one seems to mention until it's too late. Here is the straight talk that trims stress and sets expectations so nothing catches you off guard. Electric vehicle ownership shines when convenience is designed into your day, and it frustrates when planning is skipped. The difference is simple: understand the quirks that show up after the honeymoon and build habits that neutralize them. This walkthrough covers 10 common headaches EV owners face after a few months on the road. We'll discuss why they happen in plain language, then lay out practical steps that work in daily life. No hype, no scare tactics, just the details drivers share at chargers and service desks when nobody is filming. There is plenty to love about smooth torque, quiet cruising, and fueling at home while you sleep. There is also a learning curve, especially on long trips in winter, or when sharing public infrastructure with everyone else on a holiday weekend. Treat this like a tune-up for expectations. Bring a little preparation, add a few tools to your phone, and adopt habits that put you back in control of time, money, and battery health. By the end, these headaches will be erased by a routine you can manage. The car stays easy, the trips stay predictable, and the ownership story becomes what it should be: quiet, simple, and stress-free. Public fast charging is the first headache because it controls road trips and late-night detours. The promise is simple: arrive, tap, charge, leave. The reality can include offline stalls, broken card readers, crowded sites, and cables that barely reach the port. Treat the map as a starting point, not a guarantee you can bet a schedule on. Build redundancy into every leg by saving at least 2 nearby options, setting up accounts with more than one network, and loading payment ahead of time so you are not standing in the wind typing card numbers. Favor sites with multiple dispensers, fresh check-ins, and clear lighting. Park so the cable hangs straight, avoid tight bends, and test the latch before you walk away. If power is low, move to another stall rather than burning time on a shared cabinet. Carry a phone cable, a backup RFID card, and a pair of work gloves for grimy handles in bad weather. Plan restroom and snack breaks during the early, fast part of the session instead of the slow end. If a queue forms, use the wait to add alternate stops and estimate your new arrival buffer. Most frustration comes from single points of failure, so design routes that never depend on one station to save the day. With a little redundancy and a few simple habits, public charging turns from a coin flip into a predictable stop, and your trip feels like driving again instead of troubleshooting. Small systems beat big surprises. Highway range is the second headache because the number on the window sticker reflects a blended cycle while long, steady speeds tell a different story. Aerodynamic drag rises with speed, so the same car that looks generous on paper can feel modest at 75 miles per hour. Turn range from mystery into math by using the energy screen after 30 minutes of steady cruising, then planning legs around that real figure with a healthy arrival buffer. Trust the built-in trip planner if it accounts for elevation and weather, then add margin until the arrival estimate stops dancing. Roof boxes, bike racks, and big wheels change consumption, so consider removing add-ons for long journeys. Cruise control smooths the right foot and lowers spikes. A small drop in speed often buys a large gain in range without changing arrival time once charging is included. Drafting close behind trucks is not safe or necessary. Stay back, pick a steady lane, and let the car work efficiently. If hills dominate a route, think in terms of net elevation and temperature. Long climbs raise consumption, long descents restore a fraction through regeneration, and cold air thickens resistance. What looks like a downgrade on a map can cost energy if a headwind arrives, so check the forecast like a pilot and build a cushion. The goal is simple: know your true highway number and plan to it. Once you do, anxiety fades and progress feels smooth, calm, and repeatable. Weather is the third headache, especially deep cold. Batteries and heaters both want energy, and the chemistry prefers warmth. Cold mornings reduce range, slow initial charging, and limit regenerative braking until the pack warms. Build a winter routine that fights back. Preheat while plugged in so cabin comfort and battery warmth come from the wall, not the pack. Use seat and wheel heaters to feel cozy with fewer kilowatts, and keep windows clear to avoid wasting heat on defogging emergencies. Start trips with a warm battery whenever fast charging is ahead, and expect the first stop to run longer than the rest. Snow, slush, and winter tires also raise rolling resistance, so plan shorter legs and arrive with extra buffer on storm days. Heat matters too. High summer brings battery conditioning, heavy air conditioning loads, and road surfaces that mirror heat back into the cabin. Shade helps more than you think, as does cracking windows slightly before you park to vent hot air. If your car offers scheduled preconditioning or a heat pump, Learn the menu and use it daily through the season. Energy usage screens tell the truth in all weather. Watch them like a fuel gauge until your instincts match the numbers you see. None of this turns winter or summer into a problem. It simply recognizes that range is seasonal and that comfort has a cost. With a plan, the coldest and hottest months become predictable and trips feel measured rather than risky. Preparation prevents wasted time. Charging curves create the fourth headache because the impressive peak number often fades as the battery fills. Early percentages accept power quickly, then taper for cell longevity and thermal control. Waiting for the last few bars can double stop times without adding useful miles. Flip the script by targeting shorter sessions that start earlier and end earlier. Roll into a site around 20 to 40%, then leave near 70 to 80% so you stay in the fast part of the curve. If the app shows power sharing between paired stalls, move to an unpaired unit, or switch stalls if you see a big drop that does not recover within a minute. Preconditioning helps the pack accept power sooner, so enable it whenever a fast charger is set as the destination. Do not chase a perfect 100% unless the next leg needs it. The last stretch is slow by design, and the time you spend there rarely shortens total trip time. Think like a pilot planning fuel stops. Several short, predictable pauses beat one long, uncertain wait. Use breaks for food, restrooms, and stretching during the fast window rather than the slow tail, and set a timer so you do not drift into idle fees. Once you align stops with how batteries charge, frustration disappears. The gauge may not read full, but your schedule will look better, and your patience will stay intact. That is the point. Less sitting, more moving, and a rhythm that feels natural. Home charging becomes the fifth headache when wiring, panels, or permits turn a simple idea into a project. A plug-in level 2 unit on an existing 240-volt circuit is straightforward. Running a new line across finished walls, upsizing a breaker, or upgrading an older panel adds cost and coordination. Start with a load calculation from a licensed electrician, then size the charger to your nightly need rather than choosing the largest box on the shelf. Shorter cable runs, surface conduit in the garage, and a right-sized breaker keep budgets under control. If the dryer outlet shares the space, consider a smart splitter that prevents both appliances from drawing full power at once, or schedule charging after laundry hours. Mount the unit where the cable reaches the port without straining, and choose a model with a secure holster to protect the connector. Use a dedicated circuit, a proper ground, and a permit where required because clean paperwork protects resale and insurance claims. Ask your utility about rebates, time of use plans, and manage charging programs that pay small incentives for off-peak charging. Label the breaker, store the manual, and keep a spare cord set for travel or emergencies. Once the install is dialed, at-home fueling becomes the best part of ownership. Silent miles delivered while you sleep, with no detours across town just to fill up. A careful plan at the start makes that easy outcome the default rather than the exception, for years. Electricity pricing drives the sixth headache because the cost per mile swings with where and when you charge. Residential rates are usually gentle and they get friendlier when charging shifts to off-peak hours. Public fast charging trades time for money, and the price at the plug often reflects that convenience. Build a simple strategy that captures the savings you control. Plug in at home whenever the car will sit overnight. Use scheduled charging so the session finishes near departure and lands in the cheapest window your plan offers. If your utility has a special rate for electric car owners, enroll, then set reminders so travel weeks do not push charging into premium hours. On the road, compare prices inside the charging app before you roll, and consider that a slightly slower site near a grocery or coffee stop can beat a faster site by saving a second stop later. Avoid habitually arriving with a nearly empty pack. A small buffer keeps choices open if a favorite site is busy or priced higher than expected. When friends ask what it costs to drive on electricity, answer with your own numbers, not a national average that ignores local rates and habits. Track energy in the car and dollars on the bill for a month, then divide miles by money to get a number that reflects your life. Once that number is familiar, you will know when a detour to a faster charger makes sense and when home is the better answer. Tires are the seventh headache because weight and instant torque test rubber in ways daily drivers feel. Many factory tires prioritize rolling efficiency, which helps range but can wear faster or ride more firmly over rough pavement. Control what you can control. Check pressures monthly with a known good gauge, rotate on schedule, and align whenever you feel feathering or see uneven shoulders. Avoid full throttle launches on cold tires leaving the neighborhood, then enjoy the torque once everything has temperature. When replacement time arrives, read independent wear and braking tests, not just labels. A tire that trades a tiny amount of efficiency for better tread life and wet grip can save real money and confidence over tens of thousands of miles. If road noise bothers you, look for modern tread designs that place small dampers inside the cavity and confirm that the load index matches your car's weight. Keep an eye on curb rash, since heavy wheels and low-profile tires dislike sharp edges. If your area sees snow, mount a dedicated winter set rather than relying on all-season compromises, then store them clean and bagged in a cool corner of the garage. Finally, teach the pressure monitoring system to recognize new positions after rotations if your car requires it, because correct alerts prevent slow leaks from becoming ruined casings. Good habits stretch tire budgets and keep stopping distances short, which makes every other part of ownership feel calmer. Small routines add up to big savings over time. Insurance and repairs make the eighth headache, since premiums reflect repair complexity and trained labor, and collision cycle times depend on parts pipelines and high-voltage procedures. Start reducing exposure before anything happens. Compare quotes from carriers that actively understand electric models, ask about telematics discounts, and set deductibles that match your risk tolerance rather than accepting the default. Keep documentation tidy, from photos of your car and accessories to a list of installed charging equipment at home. If an accident occurs, choose a body shop with factory training for your brand, because high-voltage safety, battery inspection, and driver assist calibration are specialized tasks. Discuss parts availability early, and ask the shop to order long lead items immediately. While you wait, protect your budget by pausing subscription charging plans and parking services you do not need during downtime. If a rental is included, request a vehicle that fits your cargo and child seat needs, not just any compact on the lot. When repairs are complete, verify that charging speed, range estimates, and driver assist features behave as before, then save all invoices with the vehicle records. Good preparation shortens surprises, improves communication, and reduces the chance of repeat visits. You cannot remove every variable from repairs or insurance, yet you can stack small decisions in your favor so the car returns to your driveway quickly, cleanly, and ready for the next road trip. That calm process protects time, preserves value, and keeps ownership costs where they should be overall. Battery health forms the ninth headache, not because packs are fragile, but because habits matter over years. Think of state of charge like room temperature, comfortable in the middle, tolerable at the edges, and fine there when the day demands it. For daily life, live roughly between 20 and 80%. Schedule charging to finish near departure so the car does not sit full, and save 100% fills for long legs. Avoid routinely running to empty unless you need the entire pack. In hot weather, park in shade when possible, and allow the car to cool itself before charging hard. If your model offers a battery care mode, enable it for daily use. Use the trip energy screen to connect driving style with consumption, and consider that smooth inputs keep temperatures stable and range steady. Over months, watch long-term trends rather than reacting to a single cold morning where the estimate is on the lower end. Warranties exist for a reason, and a clear record of charging habits, temperatures, and service visits helps if something abnormal appears. Treat the pack like a long-life appliance, used every day, cared for with simple routines, and trusted on big days when the map stretches across the screen. Do that, and the battery fades into the background while the car delivers quiet miles with the same confidence you expected on day one. Consistency beats gadgets. Simple routines practiced every week preserve capability, comfort, and confidence without turning driving into homework for most owners. Apartments and condos create the 10th headache because parking policies, shared panels, and billing rules decide whether a plug appears near your spot. Solve it like a small project. Gather a simple proposal that includes a photo of your space, a sketch of the conduit run, a charger with load sharing, and straightforward cost ranges. Bring proof of liability coverage and language for a charging agreement that handles electricity reimbursement and equipment removal if you move. Offer alternatives, such as a shared dual-port charger on a wall that serves 2 adjacent spaces with scheduled access. If installing hardware is not possible, search for workplace charging, city programs, or nearby stations that offer predictable pricing and safe lighting. Treat access as part of the lease decision, the same way you would weigh storage or noise. A landlord is more receptive when the plan is organized, the equipment is listed, and the path to removal is clear. After installation, keep the area tidy, coil the cable after every session, and post basic etiquette for neighbors who share the equipment. If policy work interests you, join local efforts that update building codes so new parking areas include power, conduit, and space for future chargers. Each small improvement helps the next resident. With persistence and a clear plan, the lack of a driveway becomes a solvable constraint rather than a permanent barrier, and daily charging turns into a normal routine. Over time, buildings adapt and the options grow for renters and owners alike. Thanks for watching, folks, and make sure to hit that subscribe button if you like what you saw here.